Hi, this is Dan. I hope you're doing well. In today's lesson, I'm going to talk about something incredibly important, and that's the bass player's role. Now, what we're talking about here is having great tone, timing, feel, providing the low end, and supporting the band. In a minute, I'm going to take you through the chord progression for the intro that I was playing and explain a few concepts that might help you. But first, I want to tell you, years and years ago in the MySpace era, if you remember that, I emailed a UK bass player called Steve Pearce. He's been on absolutely everything from like Van Morrison to James Bond films. You've heard his playing. He's absolutely incredible. And I was just basically asking for advice and lessons. And he didn't give lessons, but he provided some inspiration for me that I've thought about for years now. And one thing he said about how he thinks about when he's with a drummer, it's providing like a comfortable armchair for the rest of the band to sit in. And I'll never forget that, because yes, you can have solo bass and all kinds of, you know, fantastic solos, but really 90% of bass playing is about that. It's about supporting the band. Let's dive into that backing track. I'll play a bit and I'll explain. Now, one thing the bass has that no other instrument in the band has is that it's the bridge between melody, harmony, and rhythm, which are the three big parts that make up music. I was playing a little bit too much there, but let me show you this. We've got F sharp minor. Now, you need to know the chord tones. I played a little bit of that just now. We've got a root, a flat third, and a fifth, flat seven, and octave. And that is the harmony, okay? These are the notes that make up the harmony. Then you have an A major, just an A major arpeggio, 2 frets higher, B. That's the 7th fret of the E string. So the first thing to do is to be very aware of the notes that make up whatever the chord progression is you're playing. But if you listen to the intro, and this is very loosely based on Vultures by John Mayer, and you need to listen to the live version of that with Pino Palladino. And there's a brilliant YouTube video that you can see his playing. And he's not doing much of anything apart from just like root notes. Well, he goes. Okay, so the bass lines that you can make up, you can do so many different things, but in general, what you want to do is just highlight, well, root notes are very important for us bass players. So that's your F sharp, the lowest note of the chord, F sharp, and then A, and then B. So if you can provide a fantastic groove, something simple like that, you can play it in time with great feel. So you're not rushing, you're playing it bang in time, but you're putting feeling into it. And if you have a really good tone, now this is a 1968 Fender Precision with flat wound strings, very similar to Pino's setup. That combination of P-bass and flat wounds just gives you a really good bass tone. But there's a million other, this is not a tone video, but there's a million other ways that you can provide low end. Just keep it simple, that's your role. So you've got notes of the harmony, and the root note is incredibly important. And us bass players, that's where we're going to spend most of our time. But you can inject melody into your bass lines. You can sort of bounce off ideas that the singer has. Never get in the way of a singer, okay? You're there to be supportive, but some great bass lines come, again, I can think of Pino Palladino again, just mirroring what the vocal does. So you can add melody in, listen to James Jameson, listen to what's going on. You can listen to that on its own and it sounds like a melody. So there are lots of different ways you can go with this. But at the end there, so we've got F sharp minor, 4 bars, then we've got 2 bars of A, 2 bars of B. It's quite a good place to put in a fill. Let me break that down for you. So we're in the key of sort of F sharp minor, F sharp Dorian, okay? Now, again, this isn't a theory video, but as a bass player, you need to be inside the harmony. You need to know what works over which chord that you're playing. So this is like an A and a B. You can think of F sharp Dorian as being the second mode of E major. You can think of this A and B as being the 4 and 5 chords. And I just know that these notes work over each. I'm just playing an A Lydian and a B Mixolydian. You don't even need to know those funny modal names. You just need to know that these notes work. And over the B, that's the 4th and the 3rd, just up the octave. So if I've got a B on the 7th fret of the E string, that lovely note there, which is just an E to a D sharp. Just a nice melodic fill. Talking about that Steve Pearce quote of providing a nice armchair, that was specifically as part of the rhythm section. So perhaps your most important partner in crime in the band's setting is the drummer. And this is not a hard and fast rule at all. But if you listen to the bass drum, the kick drum, you can follow that closely with a root note, and that's going to be a great bass line 90% of the time. What I did there. This is on the B. You've got the root, the 5th, and then the octave. So the 5th is just wherever you are on a note, the fretted note, you just go 2 frets higher this way, 2 strings higher, which is down towards the floor. That's an octave. That pattern works over almost any chord, and you can use those notes. I mean, you're not doing anything controversial to the harmony. These are very safe notes, if you like, but you can inject a bit more rhythm into proceedings. And then patterns, because 2 frets higher than the octave, that's a 9th. I love that sound. All 9ths there. So as you go along, you'll learn what works over what chord, and then you'll start to learn so much that actually the discipline comes from removing and not throwing the kitchen sink at everything. And that's why someone like Pino Palladino is brilliant to listen to, because he just has everything. Fantastic tone, fantastic taste. He knows when to add in, and he knows when to be more restrained. So we'll end with this clip. He's in the guitar solo, and this is a trio setting. So you've got Steve Jordan on drums, Pino Palladino, and John Mayer. And in a trio setting, when John Mayer's playing the solo, there's a big sonic gap there. So Pino plays out a bit more, and he just provides a bit more, and he does some chordal stuff as well. Okay, listen to this. And then what does he do when we come back to the verse? He's back. When John Mayer starts to play the chords, he's back to his sort of simpler stuff. And I'll leave you with that as the best tip I can give you, is to find out about these things I'm talking about. You must listen. Listen to the greats, and Pino Palladino is very much one of the greats, but there are millions of other bass players that are fantastic, okay? Just listen out for some of these ideas that I'm telling you about. You'll hear them in all the great bands, all the great music. You'll hear bass players in a supportive role, fantastic technique, playing pretty simply in the background. You know, there are times to shine, but 90% of the time, this is it. Thanks very much for watching the video. I hope you got something from it, and if you did, please like, share, and comment. Have a great day. See you next time.